Gotta aim for the top like, hold up, yeah. I can never doubt myself, I know better. All of you critics be acting like you know better. Blowing the smoke, but I know when the dust settles that I'm in my element, it's evident that there's levels to the game. All of those dark nights I got then, breaking my back to make it out, got me feeling like rain. I ain't never need your help, I know you wishing me well. A penny for your thoughts, but seeing no change. I snap for the sun like Diddy, the riches got a mad ass son, I'm like Billy. I ain't never switch up, whole team with me, putting on for my city like OAGZ. Set the pace as long as you finish, consumers find a way inside your business. Babble, they try to dabble in it and they hate the fact that they may have to witness. You try to aim for the top like this and you're in your element with a fire like this, and they hoping you fall and they praying you miss, but it's all in the risk. I got you with the switch, you know I'm in the zone. Give me the throne. One shot, that's all that you got. That's all that I know. Foot on the gas, 155 on the road. You could be a friend of me, an enemy. Keep that same old energy, cause I know.
Hello and welcome to a playoff edition of the Printing Money Podcast. Here as usual with my co-host at Big Al Poker. How you doing, brother?
Doing good, man. Doing good. How was your weekend?
It was phenomenal. You were there for most of it. I enjoyed some victories and some challenging moments, one might say. We did pretty well, except for let's talk about. We got to talk about it, Al.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your Colts, man.
The worst clock management I've seen from a coaching staff. When you have 6 minutes left and you just run, and then you don't realize when you're getting down to like last 4 minutes why you kill the clock. You have 3 timeouts. Try to just go for the score, and if you don't, kick the field goal, leave yourself time to onside. If you don't miss onside, you can still get the ball back. Give yourself a chance. Don't just put it all in on one play. Like that always made no sense to me. Like burning that timeout, it's like, come on, Shane. You know, we had so much high hope and promise for that game. It was
to me, Shane Steichen was basically saying, I know that my defense can't stop CJ. So burn the clock, and we're going to make Gardner get it done on one throw. And I don't think that was the right strategy at that moment in the game. I was with you, obviously. We watched the game. I won the challenge. I'm happy about that, but not that way. I mean, why in the world you would be running the football there to put the whole game on the quarterback's heels of a backup quarterback in prevent defense time? I know he's an offensive genius, and I had him penciled in as somebody I liked to win Coach of the Year, as you know, an award that I still am going to continue to argue, and I argued it a long time ago. If DeMeco Ryans won the division with that team, he is the NFL Coach of the Year. I'm sorry. He just is. That team was supposed to win 3 games. DeMeco Ryans won the division in his first year as a head coach with a rookie quarterback. Crown him. Crown that man. I want him back in San Francisco desperately right now. Sidetracked, but it's clearly obvious to me. I thought he was in the running for Coach of the Year. But those types of decisions prove to me he's a rookie coach. You can't clock manage that bad. Shane Steichen will get better. He'll be all right. Hats off to CJ. They played great. That game plan was just not the business.
Yeah.
Speaking of interesting, Buffalo Bills, Miami Dolphins, Josh Allen doing everything he could to not secure the printing money lock of the week. But Tua couldn't take advantage. It is secured. Now Allen gets to host Rudolph in Snowville, and Tua gets to go on the road in the coldest game in franchise history, leaving all the thoughts of Hawaii behind him and playing Patrick Mahomes, a team they already lost to once this year. We've got all that and more coming up here, Al, on the Printing Money Podcast. We have been profitable. Big money on Buffalo, big money on Michigan Monday night. I hope you guys saw the plays on TikTok. We swept it, other than the quarterback prop for J.J. McCarthy, which was really just, I expected him to run the ball for 200 yards, not 300. Thought we'd get 60 more of those back to McCarthy. But other than that, we hit every bet there. It was 5 of 6, I believe. That's pretty good. And we expect to do a lot more of that in the playoffs as these breakdowns get lengthier and we get you guys to the printing press. Are you ready, Al?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's start with the Cleveland Browns. Joe Flacco on the heels of a week where they rested almost everyone, trying to get healthy. They're going to be flying in to play those Texans that we just talked about, who have won the division. That is incredible. C.J. Stroud's first playoff game versus a veteran quarterback who has been here before. Joe Flacco won a Super Bowl. Let's not talk about against who. And, I'm just trying to figure out why the line is -2.5. It's such a weird hang. Number of 44.5, so it's moving towards the over. There's a lot to digest here. I'll let you take a crack on it now. I've got strong opinions on this contest.
As far as this game goes, I am really in the over. I know last time they played, this was a shootout game. That was a case game at quarterback. C.J. Stroud didn't play this game. The Browns defense is not very good on the road. That obviously proved it in the last game. The Browns smashed the Texans. Again, that was without C.J. Stroud. I still think that 44.5 total is a little low for this game. I think this game should go over the total of 44.5. I'm leaning on Houston Texans to win this game outright. But like I said, when it comes to just how games are put together, arrangements are done, matches are made out, it's like I love the Texans, but then I think back in my head, if the Browns win, that means Joe Flacco goes back to Baltimore. Is that what the NFL wants? So, it's like I hope they don't want that because I'd like to see C.J. Stroud succeed. I mean, the way they beat the Colts, I'm not mad at it. I think C.J. Stroud's a good quarterback. I'd love to see the young kid succeed in the NFL. I like Nico Ryans as a head coach. Like I said earlier, Coach of the Year is my pick as well. I'm on C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans on that covering that money line. I'll hit 2.5 too. Sure, why not? But I actually think Texans win this game, and I like the over 44.5.
Challenge.
Sure.
I challenge you, sir. This game is going under. Let me explain this to you. Last time they played, Amari Cooper did something that, quite frankly, no one thought Amari Cooper could do, including Amari Cooper. Joe Flacco has been playing at an MVP level. Literally, his statistics match up with Lamar's, with Brock Purdy's, with Jordan Love's. He's an MVP level since his return. There's no way that he sustains that. I think Amari Cooper is all D'Amico Ryans is focusing on this week. He is the coach of the year for a reason. There's a big problem in the over from last time and how that game played out. C.J. Stroud not in the game, obviously. Could not sustain a drive. Browns kept getting short fields. There was kickoff returns. There was all kinds of ugly disgustingness took place. It's not going to happen this time. 44 is a key number, just like 37 is a key number. I'm going to play the number here in both spots. I want to play it for the game, and I'm going to play it for the total. Once you're going to give me over 44, I like the under. 44.5 under in this football game. I think CJ struggles a little bit in his first playoff game, just adjusting to the speed of the NFL playoffs. I think Flacco struggles because it's time for Flacco to struggle. Houston wins this game 23-17, somewhere in that range.
I like 24-21, which I like the over.
All right. He's got a half point of leeway in liking the over. I think Houston wins this game. I get it. The inclination is to take the Browns after what happened last time. The inclination is to go with veteran Flacco. I'm not saying you're wrong. I think the number in this game is going to go to 3. You've got everything sitting across the board right now at -105. -105 is what I get the 2.5 at, meaning the books are about to move this line to 3. You just wait. You get the number at 3 with the Texans at home. 3 as a home dog in the playoffs. I don't trust the Browns here. I really don't. I think they're riddled with injuries. You can't trust Flacco. They're a great team. It's been a great story, but I think the Cinderella ride ends here. The NFL marketing they get out of C.J. Stroud winning his first playoff game, yeah, if there was a story to tell and a conspiracy you believed in, that would be the novel I'd start reading.
Yeah, I'm going to also add another play in this game. Over team total 20.5 for the Houston Texans. I told you I think the Texans score over 21 points. I think 24-21 is the final score. I do like Houston over 20.5 team total.
Yeah, you guys have to remember the Cleveland Browns on the road as a defense, not good. I'm not going to cover all the stats and go over everything again because I literally did it against the Texans the last time they played. So if you guys want that, go grab that podcast from the week they played the Texans. I broke down this game the first time, and I liked the Texans in that game with Case Keenum. The amount of breaks that the Texans got in that game, the way that blowout orchestrated, how it got out of hand, how far behind Keenum was, the picks he was throwing, the plays they were calling. The football game was over for the first 5 minutes. So That is not at all how I expect this game to play with CJ on the other side. I like the breakdown we gave last time. Nothing's changed. Cleveland didn't get better here. I think that game was a fluke. We'll find out on Saturday. I could be completely wrong, but I think it was a fluke, and I like the under. That's where I'm at. In the last two games, I felt this strongly about. National Championship on Monday, Buffalo on Sunday night, and we smashed them both, Al. So I'm not going to waver here. I like the Texans a fair bit at 3. Don't go getting to 2.5. There's just no reason. If it never gets to 3, then grab it, but it's certainly not going the other direction.
Yeah, if you're taking Houston, I mean, honestly, if you get a 3, go for 3. But if you are like me, I'm on Houston money line. I think Houston wins this game. Take the plus 120.
Line gets to 3. I think there's more pro money on Flex. There's a lot of statistics that say you never bet the rookie quarterback here in his first playoff start. I think CJ breaks the mold. CJ's been breaking the mold all year.
I agree. So if you're on Houston like me, wait until around for the game before I put this bet in. Hopefully get a 3 points. But if you are like me, take the money line. Take the team total on Houston as well, 20.5. That's a solid pick.
Let's move on to I think is probably the most interesting game of the week, where I have some more surprising picks of my own. Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, defending Super Bowl champions, going to be kicking it off against the unfortunate fall and collapse of the Miami Dolphins. What a bad schedule draw. This line opens at 3.5 for the Chiefs. Miami over 45. It's at 44.5 at one site right now, going back up. -4.5 for the Chiefs, pretty much across the board. I got to be honest with you. I can't take the Miami Dolphins at 4.5. That's the side that I want, but I can't take it. I won't take the Chiefs. I will take the under. I think everyone has to take the under in this football game. I understand how gross that sounds, but it's supposed to be 7 degrees at the highest temperature, moderation falling below 0, snow game, coldest game in franchise history for both teams. You've got a quarterback from Hawaii, a running back whose game is all speed, 3 of them, really. You've got a receiver whose entire game is concentrated on speed. You've got a defense that's riddled with injuries across the board. They just signed a bunch of veterans who I'm sure are ready to come get off their couch and go play in the Snow Bowl at 0 degrees. I'm sure they're feeling great about that. Look, if this game's in Miami, I think the spread is Chiefs -2.5, and I like Miami on the money line. This game's in Arrowhead with a veteran roster, with a veteran coach who's all been there, done that before, where the weather is going to destroy the Miami Dolphins. I like the under. I don't think the Chiefs score a lot here either. I remember 2 years ago, in person, flew to Lambeau Field. We watched the divisional round. Jimmy Garoppolo trying to take the 49ers into Green Bay and beat Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams before Devontae left, and they did. 13-10, no passing touchdowns, and a defensive punt return touchdown. Aaron Rodgers couldn't throw a passing touchdown, and it was 8 degrees. We think that Tua's going to do it, the guy that's always played in the sun. I think it's a horrible draw. It's a horrible draw for Miami. They got screwed, but I don't think they can win this football game. I don't think they score points. I think this is like 17-10. I think it's bad.
Yeah. I like it. Actually, like 14-10 is what I'm looking at. I think Kansas City. I think Mahomes wins this game. I actually like the teaser on this game. I think tease the Chiefs to win the game pretty much. You're getting a +1.5. Same thing as win the game. I think you're safer taking the Chiefs on the teaser than you are taking Dolphins +10.5, because it could even be 14-3. You just don't know. I just feel like the Chiefs is the safer play to bet on a tease line. So I would tease Chiefs in the under with this game. If you can tease it up to 49, the line's going to drop. It's going to keep dropping.
I mean, it's available right now at a bunch of public books at 44, pretty much across the board. So actually, it just dropped from me talking right now. So it's at 44.5 still on one of those books. 3 of them have changed just since I let you take over the segment.
Yeah. So the lines, are dropping on this under. So under money's coming in. If you like the under, get it now. Otherwise, you're going to give up points. So I think it's a solid play. Chiefs +1.5, tease it under 49.5. There's no chance in that game that these two teams are going to score 7 touchdowns. So 49.5 is 100% solid.
Yeah, and I mean, the forecast is being reported everywhere. It's essentially been being reported all week. I can't find a reason that it's not accurate. If it's anywhere close to this bad, it's the coldest game that these guys have ever played in, and you've got a team that's not built for snow whatsoever. The Miami Dolphins are the worst team in the league for playing in the elements in terms of the way that roster is designed and crafted.
Correct. Yeah, and another good play I'll add on this game is the under team totals. Kansas City is 24.5. Miami Dolphins
Under.
2.5.
Under.
I don't see both these teams scoring even 3 touchdowns. You're getting the juice is very high on the books I'm looking at. It's around 175 Miami and 155 on the Chiefs. But that tells you something. The VIG's that high on those lines. There's a reason for that.
I like the Chiefs line a lot, minus 155. It's the right side of the number, and they're not scoring over 24 points. They're having a hard enough. Let me be honest with you. They're having a hard time scoring 24 points in any football game this season. Let's just get that clear, right? They've been having a hard time scoring over 24 points. The last time these teams met was in London, 24-14 Chiefs there in perfect weather. So why would we expect this game to be any different? It's the under all the way across the board. It's the Chiefs on the money line. I don't know if they like the 4.5. I don't think you can touch it in this game. I like them to win, and I like the second round of the playoffs for the Buffalo Bills to be pretty easy when the Chiefs have to go into Buffalo and play in those elements. So to me, this is pretty simple. Buffalo plays the Ravens in the AFC Championship game. If you didn't have that as your pick, I'd go get it now. I don't think there's any other way this can work out. The AFC is pretty much spoken for.
Yep.
So we will take a different trip now that we're moving off of the Saturday games. We're going into NFL Sunday, prime time, baby. Buffalo Bills hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. What a fortunate turn of events the last 6 weeks have been for Bills Mafia. Buffalo minus 10, over under sitting at 36, which is under that key number of 37.5, which we'll touch on in a minute. There are plays I like in this game. There are a lot of them. What do you got, Big Al?
Definitely one play I love a lot is the double interception. Interception by Rudolph and Josh Allen. I think they both throw a pick in this game. It's going to be snowing, so the ball is going to be slipping out of the quarterback, out of the hands. Maybe some tip passes the line, some inaccurate throws, especially if they're running or the snow being there. Go with interceptions definitely on both quarterbacks as far as a good prop to take. I'm also leaning on the over 36. Even though it's a snow, both teams like to run the ball. You know, they have Najee and Jaylen Warren on Pittsburgh side. Buffalo's got the running backs, Leonard Fournette there now. He's been, getting into gear, running the ball. James Cook. There's going to be a lot of running this game, but I think they're going to be scoring points as well. So definitely go with the over in 36. I like that a lot.
So, look, the fact of the matter is there are going to be so many turnovers in this game that you have to go with the over 36 once you get under the key number of 37.5. I also like the over. I know it's counterintuitive. You've got Tua and Mahomes and explosive offenses playing in Kansas City in the snow. We just clamored you and said take the under. It's going to be low scoring as hell. And we have similar elements in Buffalo, and now we're saying take the over. The difference is 8 points, which obviously is drastic. But the difference is also that Josh Allen and the Bills are built and used to playing in the snow. And I don't have to explain that obviously the Pittsburgh Steelers are a snow team. I don't think those elements are going to stop them at all. There was 27 points scored last week in a worse element game with Huntley on the other side. Josh Allen is certainly accounting for 9 more points than that. There's only 2 game scripts that make sense here. Josh Allen either turns it over 3 times because the man just can't mentally put it together. He's killing me this year. And Pittsburgh gets a bunch of 40-yard fields and has no problem scoring 17, 21 points. Or Josh Allen doesn't turn it over at all because there's no TJ Watt, there's no pressure, so he just track meets up and down the field, and he drops more than 36 by himself. Those are the only 2 options in this game. Either option leads to the Buffalo Bills winning. I don't think Mason Rudolph can get this done. Statistically, Mike Tomlin would be fine here as a 10-point favorite as a road dog. But Mike Tomlin on the road, not a coach I really want to back. Mason Rudolph in his first playoff game, certainly not the quarterback I want to back. The Bills have been playing playoff games for a month and a half, and they rout the Steelers here. I'm not laying 10. Josh Allen turns it over too much for me to lay 10, but Buffalo is the easiest teaser leg of the week. Get them down to 4. Take the over 36. I think you cash them both, and the interception prop shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you to a little bit of that. With I know Josh Allen turns the ball over a lot. Yes, I know that factor, and so like a lot of short field opportunities could happen for the Pittsburgh Steelers to maybe possibly put some points on the board. But the one thing is, Buffalo either smashes or they lose, and they're at home. You saw what they did to the Cowboys. Yeah, I know it's the weather's different. It's colder. It's snowy. I just 10 points. I don't see how the Bills doing by 2 touchdowns this game. I'm going to go Buffalo minus 10. I'm leaning on Buffalo minus 10. I think they beat the Steelers.
I mean, I can certainly see a world where that happens. I just don't like it enough to give it as a play. So I'm not. If you ask me to give the play, I like minus 10 more than I like plus 10. Otherwise, I'd be teasing Pittsburgh to 16, not the Bills to 4. I think one covers for sure. Next up, we've got the Dallas Cowboys. Mike McCarthy, the number 2 seed in the NFC. I don't know if it was Dallas stealing the number 2 seed or it was more the Eagles collapsing. I think I'm leaning towards the second one. But Mike McCarthy, he's at it again. He looks like the golden child. He's not over here on my list of coaches likely to get fired this year, which is incredible because I think he's absolute hot garbage. But he'll be coaching one of the head coaches I think is the best in the NFL, Matt LaFleur, who did an amazing job getting Jordan Love in his rookie debut season as the starter after 3 years behind Aaron Rodgers. Ready, willing, and able. Jordan Love, a man I have to give my flowers to because I talked a lot of shit the first 8 weeks of this year. And, man, did he have a comeback. He literally had a top 5 season. He should be getting MVP votes. He should absolutely have been in the Pro Bowl. That young man and what they did with that young team is incredible. And now they're getting 7 and a hook against a Cowboys team that, I get it, they're incredible at home, but they haven't looked incredible in a month. Over under open at 49. It's moved to 50.5. What do you like in this one, Al?
You know where I'm going with this, baby. You know where I've been all season long. I'm on the Love train. Give me Jordan Love at 7.5. I believe Jordan Love actually wins this game. I'm not going to bet a lot of money on the money line. I'm definitely taking a 7.5. 100% taking a 7.5. But I'm going to sprinkle a little cheddar on that money line, plus 275. Look for an upset here. Upset. I think everyone's going to be like, oh, Cowboys that. They're ready. They're prime. But like you said, they have not been playing good ball in the last 4 or 5 weeks overall. They're not playing the greatest of football. Packers coming in hot. What happens when a team comes in hot in the playoffs? They lose, you stay hot at least the first game. So watch out for Green Bay for the upset of the weekend. Green Bay, take that 7.5. Make a little money on the money line and enjoy that money. Also, I'm all over Green Bay team total 20.5. I think Green Bay scores over 21 points this game. You're getting 20.5. They scored 3 touchdowns. Cash that ticket.
I like them both. I got to be honest. I'm into Big Al's plays today on the Green Bay Packers. Those are exactly the plays I have. I am not going to give you an answer on the over-under. I think it's set right about where it should be. I think that Jordan Love is playing better than Dak Prescott right now. I get that Dak Prescott may have had the better season in most people's eyes. He certainly had the better first half. Jordan Love certainly had the better second half. I think that Matt LaFleur is clearly the better coach. I think the Packers are clearly the healthier team right now. They're getting all their guys back. I think they have the right scheme. Christian Watson will be back for this game. They're the youngest offense in the league, one of the youngest rosters in the league. And the reason that that's important is because they're playing with house money. Jordan Love literally wins $500,000 a playoff game. No one expected him to be here. No one expected the Green Bay Packers to make the playoffs this season. They expected the Lions to win the division. They expected the Vikings to compete after the year they had last year. They expected the Packers to have a rebuilding season. What they've done is quite impressive with how young they are. Aaron Jones, clearly healthy after the way he ran last week, ready to run over Dallas Cowboys. I don't trust Tony Pollard's ability to do the same on the back end. I think that the Green Bay Packers defense struggles against teams that can really run the rock. They do a lot better against teams that have to just air it out. They do have secondary pieces that can play. CeeDee Lamb's going to get the double team in this one. I think the Packers can pull this out. I certainly think they can cover. 7 the hook becomes a numbers game. Go get the Green Bay Packers. Grab the team total. I don't know if I'm as interested in the money line as Al is, but there is probably a world where they can upset Dallas in this game. This is playoff Cowboys, playoff McCarthy, playoff Dak. None of them really have a good track record in recent years. Then we got the matchup that, quite frankly, is the one I have been waiting for. We have the NFL's most amazing story. We have everything they ever wanted. On one side, Jared Goff, the castaway that they sent in the middle of Detroit to die. They thought they were sending him there to never be relevant again. Their idea was to imprison and banish this man to Siberia. I have no idea what they're thinking right now in Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford's quarters as they talk about how they have to go face the man who is pissed off. You know that Goff wants this game. You know that Goff has to prove to everyone that he is better than Stafford, that he never should have been traded, that he was the leader they wanted. He has got to be angry. He's got to be fueled up. Dan Campbell's always angry and fueled up. Is it enough to beat the genius team of Stafford and McVay, who I think is one of the best QB head coach tandems in the NFL and what is the hottest team in the National Football League right now? Lions -3.5, and the biggest over-under total of the week, 51.5. What do we like on this one, big guy?
I'm on the Rams. I mean, like I said, with the when it comes to playoffs, I like to bet on the team going in the playoffs. It's hot. I already mentioned earlier. I said I like the Packers because they're going in the playoffs hot. The Rams coming in hot. They've won 7 out of the last 8 games. 7 out of the last 8 games. If that's not hot to you, I don't know. That only loss they had out of the 8 games was an overtime loss to Baltimore. Again, they actually could have won that game. So think about it. They could be coming to the playoffs 8 straight wins. I'm all over the Rams this game. Stafford going back to Detroit. I know Goff wants to win this game for the motivation because he was traded. Stafford never won a playoff game for Detroit. Stafford's going to go to Detroit and win a playoff game, just not for the Detroit Lions. So I'm on the Rams. Take a money line. Take them to the +3 if you want to take a +3. But I think your play is go money line. I'm really on that. They've been just playing some good ball. I'm also on the over team total, 23.5 for the Rams. I think this game is going to be a shootout game. You said it was at 51. I would have 51.5. I'm teasing the Rams with a +9 and the over as well because I like that play. Whenever I can get a chance of printing money, I'm going to take it. Give me a teaser at +9 and the over. I feel like you're just giving me some free money. I'll take it. But I'm definitely on the Rams money line and on the Rams team total of 23.5.
Yeah, I mean, here we are again, and we agree. Again, 3 in the hook. It's all about playing the number. The fact of the matter is the Los Angeles Rams are one of the most surprising teams in the league. Sean McVay would have a chance to win Coach of the Year if it was not for being in the same division as Kyle Shanahan. As much of a Rams hater as I normally am, and I'm clearly not a fan, it's hard not to like what they're putting together in LA. I'm scared of this team. I don't want to see this team. I pray the Lions win this game. I'd much rather have Jared Goff come outside to Santa Clara to play the Niners than have to go see the Los Angeles Rams next week in the divisional round. I don't want to see that game at all. Sean McVay is one of the most, I can't say underrated, but not appreciated coaches for what he did this year. Takes Puka Nacua to the offensive receiver of a lifetime, breaking every single record. Cooper Kupp comes back off an injury. Stafford's throwing with precision despite all the injuries he had. Takes one of the youngest defenses in the league and Aaron Donald, and they surprisingly shore up over the back end of the season. Aaron Dalton has another phenomenal year. This guy just coaches them up and coaches them up and coaches them up and takes advantage of every single situation given to him with one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the league in Matthew Stafford. And I got to be honest here, the problem is the coaching mismatch. As much as I like Dan Campbell, too many risks, too young in terms of years of experience. Perhaps, may I say, a little too arrogant in how good his offense is. In some of these calls, 4th and 1s from his own 20, etc. You're not going to get away with these things against McVay, and you're not going to get away with playing conservative either. He lives on the ragged edge. That's exactly where he likes the game. I think the Rams handled the chaos better than Detroit. I think Laporta, who was probably the best tight end in football this year, at least the stats would say he was.
Yep.
That injury is significant. I trust Stafford and McVay a lot more than I trust Campbell and Goff. I think the team is still immature. I think the Detroit Lions are a wonderful story. I'm extremely happy for Detroit fans getting to win the division after all this long. I am a fan of Detroit. I like a lot of people on that team. I love the football they play. This is a tough draw, just like Miami. I think these young teams that showed up with a bunch of offensive firepower for the first time ever have a tough go this year in the playoffs. I think both franchises have a bright future. I don't think they're there yet. Give me the Rams 3 and a hook. Absolutely give me 9.5 on a teaser, which I have right now. If you can't get the hook, I don't know if they love 3. At 2.5, the value's back to the Lions. It is. But I wouldn't lay it. I just like the Rams in this spot, and I love the over. I think this game's an absolute shootout. I think Goff is going to fight for his life, which is going to make the Rams put up points. Of course, both teams good enough to score in garbage time for that last touchdown we might need. I like the over no matter how you dice it, but the value here, Los Angeles and McVay. I'm pulling for you, Detroit. I swear. I promise. I don't want to see this Rams team. I don't.
Yeah, I think the over is a really, really solid play a lot. I think this over is a great play. I think that the play, honestly, looking at the numbers, the play that I think you're going to cash ticket on is the Rams over 23.5 team total. Look at the last the 8-game winning streak, right? I was telling you about earlier. Out of those 8 games, okay, they scored 26, 30, 28, 31, 36, 37. And that was all in a row. They started a winning streak against Seattle, winning 17-16. And then the next winning streak games, they went 37, 36, 31, 28, 30, 26. Okay, that tells you right there. The Rams are scoring points. Take the over team total 23.5. Another thing, too, is Matthew Stafford. Look at his passing yards. His passing yard prop is 275.5. The last 2 games, he's thrown for 317 and 328. Before that, 258. Before that, 294 and 279. He's putting up passing yards over that number. So that's another bet I would too as well. I know we're talking about props on the show later in the week, but I had to throw that prop out there now in this podcast. So I like that prop a lot. Stafford over 275.5. Team total 23.5. I'm leaning the Rams. I'm taking the Rams money line. I don't care if it drops to 2.5. I'm on the Rams money line to win this game outright.
Yeah, and I'm riding every Kyren Williams prop that we can find because Detroit's rush defense is abysmal. And Kyren Williams has been a cash ticket machine down the stretch. But our prop show is going to be Friday. Just so everybody knows, we are going to have a prop show on Friday. That's when all the lines are out. We can kind of see the things we want. We did pretty well on props last week. I hope you guys caught some of the posts I put out, TikTok, Instagram, etc. Twitter had some posts as well of what we were doing prop-wise. We did have a winning week in props. So we're going to have a prop show Friday. It'll be a short one, probably 15, 20 minutes, just running down all the props we like in the game. Look a little bit like last week's episode. We do have another game for you, but I don't think we have a lot of betting. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers playing host to the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles currently minus 3 points across the board. 42% chance of precipitation. Opened at 45. It's been bet down all the way to 43.5 at some spots. Baker's banged up. Jalen's banged up. AJ's banged up. Everyone's banged up in this football game, especially the Philadelphia Eagles and the morale after the end of this season. I don't really have a play here. I don't know what's new in this game. We can't even get a practice or an injury report on this game.
Yeah, I've looked at the reports today for practicing. Nothing was really like super news that said, oh, yeah, he practices or he's limited. And they didn't really say anything today as far as what's going on with that game. Being that's Monday night, really the team's not to report practice reports until Thursday. So we'll know, I'm sure, more tomorrow when they announce how all the players practicing. Like you said, Baker's banged up, Hurts is banged up, A.J. Brown's banged up, Devonta Smith is banged up. DeAndre Swift missed the last game, not to injury because of his illness, so he'll be ready to go for the game on Monday night. Right now, the only play I'm leaning on is under 43.5. I said it's on 45 to 43.5. Some books are at 44. The line's going to keep dropping. I think both these teams are not going to be scoring a lot of points. They're going to be a defensive battle game. Baker wants to win this game badly. Eagles want to win this game badly. I think the defenses on both sides of the ball are going to show up. There are going to be some turnovers. So they're going to be – it's going to be, I feel like, some driving downfield and then a turnover is going to happen, which will limit the points of this game. Take the under, 43.5. 44 if you can get it right now.
You can get in the 44. I like it. That's a key number. I don't know that I like it under that. I like the precipitation factor, 42%. Thunderstorms in Tampa. The problem is I said thunderstorms, which means they may just cancel the game and take the players inside, and then you don't really get the weather benefit factor. So sometimes in those situations, I like to bet the live under. I'm not making a bet on the side here. Look, it feels like the value is with Tampa Bay. This Eagles team has just absolutely fallen apart. I think the value is with Tampa Bay, but I can't do it. I don't know how banged up Baker is. I know they're all banged up enough to not score a lot of points. I assume Lane Johnson, Jason Kelsey, I said they're all playing. I just assume that none of them are going to be 100%. Baker's not 100%. You clearly could tell that from the Carolina game last week. Last time these teams met 25-11, week 2, Monday Night Football, and that was with everyone healthy. Give me the under. I don't like anything else here really at all. I guess value with Tampa. I just can't see a way the Eagles don't win this round. I mean, I have a theory. If they don't win this round, Sirianni's in trouble.
Yeah. Well,
look, the Eagles have a massive history of firing head coaches, and amazing head coaches at that, when they think they can get the right guy. Look how they moved on from Andy Reid after everything he did.
Yeah, it's true.
Look how they moved on from Doug Peterson. Look how they moved on from Chip Kelly. These are all good coaches that all did good things there. This is a what have you done for me lately franchise. I don't think anyone would disagree with that. The Eagles are a what have you done for me lately franchise. And Nick Sirianni, Shane Steichen leaves, and this offense is bad. I mean, it's bad. And Sirianni's not doing a lot to bolster it. And then we're going to talk about how bad the defense also digressing at a rapid rate. They can't stop anyone in the secondary. Now they're struggling to stop the run. They're letting Tyrod Taylor and Saquon Barkley do what they wanted last week. And that was before Hurts was out of the game. That was before Mariota. That's when they were actually trying to win. Okay? They go down to the Cardinals the week before, a 4-12 team. Cost them the division. I mean, they're reeling. Sirianni's failing to pull it together. A.J. Brown's having outbursts on the sideline. There's clearly issues in the locker room. They clearly believe that some of these struggles are because Sirianni's lack of leadership. So I think he's lost a little bit of that magic. He's lost a little bit of holding the team. You put injuries on top of that. You put Shane leaving on top of that. This domino effect is imploding, and I can see them moving on because you have a list of coaches. It's not like they're moving on for a nobody. Do I think Nick Sirianni's a bad coach? That's not what I'm saying. Nick Sirianni will find a job. I think Nick Sirianni is doing just fine. But when you've got Bill Belichick waiting in the wings for a roster that's ready to win now, that looks appetizing. When Harbaugh goes and wins a national championship and then alludes that he might go in the NFL, I'm sure that looks appetizing. Mike Vrabel, the most profitable coach of all time, shout out to Vrabel, that looks appetizing right now, I'm sure. Ben Johnson probably looks appetizing right now. Antonio Pierce might not get the Raiders job. That has to look appetizing right now. So you've got all these options in a year that might be one of the best years ever to get a coaching candidate, and you can get off Sirianni. If you think you're wrong, you move now. They're ready to win now.
Yep. I see your side of things. I do see your side.
That's going to do it, guys. Wild Card Weekend. It's going to be a super time when you got games on Saturday. You got games on Sunday. You got games on Monday, and the printing press is running the entire weekend. Hey, I'm your host, Travis Cochran. He's at Big Al Poker, and this is the Printing Money Podcast. Please give us a like and a follow. Leave some feedback. We appreciate it. That's going to be it for us. Printing Money Podcast. Sports betting is just a game. Here at Printing Money, it's an art.
Gotta aim for the top like, hold up. Yeah, I can never doubt myself, I know better. All of you critics be acting like you know better. Blowing the smoke, but I know when the dust settles that I'm in my element. It's evident that there's levels to the game.